I am so happy to have Jennifer Mowdy sharing me on Cat Chat, sharing the time with me on Cat Chat to talk about books about cats because she owns and created the literary cat company Bookstore and Cat Lounge in Pittsburg, Kansas. And if you want to know more about it, we had a wonderful long conversation on dog talk and kitties too. But what I wanted to do was find somebody who was literate and a cat lover who could discuss with me some of this wave of Japanese authors' books about cats, because the Japanese authors, all of whom had translators, don't speak English, and apparently either their translators don't speak it, although I thought the translation seemed great, they read well for me in English, or they're not comfortable in that chair. So the first one I wanted to talk about, and you were familiar with it because you have it on the bookshelf in the Literary Cat Company, is a book with a charming cover, a wonderful title, Will Prescribe You a Cat. Subtitle, Cats Are Always the Perfect Cure, by Syou Ishida. And it's a very curious book, Jennifer. I thought it was a parable. Is it a parable? Like a fable? Is that what it felt like to you?
It did feel like that to me, and it felt like everything was metaphorical.
Yes. And did that bother you?
It did not. I liked that part of it, and I didn't, it surprised me at the end. I thought I knew where it was going, and then we get to the end, and then I was like, "Oh, wait a minute, I didn't see it going there." It went even farther into the
Into the
realm of mystery that I
yes,
wasn't prepared for.
yes, the wild beyond, the wild blue yonder. It's a curious idea, and when you first read it, I don't think it's a spoiler alert to say it's a psychiatric clinic that's
Right.
a very nutty psychiatric clinic in which they have one or maybe more than one cats that they prescribe to people with all kinds of personal social issues. And the people who come to the psychiatric clinic are already teeter-tottering emotionally in life, or they have major life challenges. And
Mhm.
they walk into this crazy place where there's a doctor and a nurse, and they're given this cat in a box, and it's some instructions which aren't that useful, and some food which is very funny because the people who get the cat go, "That's really cheap food," or, "Oh, I'm not going to feed the cat dry food." "Oh, good. They believe in my no kitty crack idea." Since you run a cat lounge, which is also a cat adoption center along with the books, did it seem to you quite amusing, amazing, bizarre, peculiar
Oh
that
yeah.
these
I
cats,
laughed out loud.
yeah, me too. They go home with the cat, go with the home with the cat, and most of the people didn't want a cat, never
Yes.
had a cat, don't know what to do with the cat. And in that fable metaphoric sort of way, the cat definitely changes them. We're expecting that, right? When we see that that's where it's going, but then each chapter, it's not really a novel to my mind. It's more like a series of short stories
Right.
linked by the psychiatric clinic and the handing out of cats for the cure of many things. Where did you think it would go? Where did you think it would? I didn't know. It was like
I didn't know.
and I didn't know if this is because I don't have a Japanese sensibility. Am I too literal? Am I too okay? What's the story here? The through line is the psychiatric clinic and the cats that get handed out to people, all of whom are in some way helped by intervention, which is almost accidental.
And I thought that part was really beautiful, and that's what I was expecting was that somehow each of these people is going to be helped mentally, emotionally, maybe spiritually by having a cat. They just need to get back in touch with some part of them that they had lost or some part of themselves that they had been led astray from. And I thought that part was really beautiful that these cats, just being the cats, just the cat itself being a cat is what helped them get back in touch with the part of them that they were missing.
And I wondered if the thing that was missing for those people being a culture that, again, I consider quite alien to ours, in which until not that long ago, people would take a job in Japan and they would have that job for their entire life, in a factory their whole life, or an office their whole life, or a medical center their whole life. I thought that was a prevailing part of Japanese culture. You
Mhm.
went somewhere, took that job, and that was always your job. A, you had job security, but B, there wasn't any sense of upward climbing or being more creative or adventuresome in trying a different career path or ideas about what might make you happy. It seemed like
Mhm.
some of these people were stuck in the life path that either they had parental expectations of them if they were a bit younger, or a boss or a workplace had an expectation that was rigid. I feel like they were all in a society that at least this author, Syou Ishida, viewed as rigid and
Hmm.
constricting. And the cat, like you said, opened them up.
Yeah, and I think that is something that is very different from our society. You don't read stories about people being trapped in a job that they hate because of a very demanding and controlling boss. In our culture, you don't like it, you try a couple of things out, and if it doesn't work out, you leave. You go
Sure.
somewhere else. And it was very obvious to me just with the first story that is not it for them. They stick it out and they are miserable and try to make it better somehow. And luckily, these people were able to get some help from a cat.
Which is really, I guess that the author was thinking a cat could be the sort of the cure for
Right.
the change motivator, many different ailments. I think that it's a lovely book because anyone who already has a cat in their life knows the ways in which cats are calming and make you laugh and make you stop what you're
Hmm.
thinking and doing and just be with the cat for a bit. And the
Hmm.
more you do that, the better relationship you have with the cat, but also maybe with yourself. I think the book is all those things. Like, terrible example, but it is like a catchphrase, Jonathan Livingston Seagull. You know, the
Hmm.
books that came along before your time, by the way, but books that were parables. I'm sure we can think of other examples of books that are supposedly the story about an animal or about people and an animal, but it's really about the way that the natural world can affect and influence and preserve and keep us
Yes.
when we're out of whack,
Yes,
not on the straight
exactly. At
path.
the end, you have to close it up at the end and just sit and ponder for a minute and think, what was this book teaching me? Because it was definitely trying to teach you something.
Exactly. And if you're the kind of person that just wants a story, just
Mhm.
wants to be swept along with a story, you're like, wait a minute, this doesn't feel like the usual kind of novel, one character through line, the ups and the downs, and they come out the other end of the tube of the
Right.
story, changed or perhaps unchanged, which is the story. This is a lot of different characters
Hmm.
being put through the cat prescription and being affected in different ways. Here's a question. If somebody wants to buy Will Prescribe You a Cat and they want to support the literary cat company, can they buy books from you online and have you ship them?
Absolutely.
Because that's something that Ann Patchett's bookstore does outside Nashville. A lot of people, certainly during the pandemic, they kept her bookstore going, ordering their books from her. So I would just suggest that to people. Amazon isn't a person or a place. It has no heart, it has no soul. It's not horrible if you want to get something for your basement shelf that's falling off the wall. But books in the beginning when Amazon
Books,
came
no.
along,
Yeah.
no, because when Amazon first came along, and younger people may not know this, it was seen as the death of books and of bookstores. The only thing it really did was sell books and took the wind out from underneath the book chains, which had already been viewed as a threat to independent bookstores. So the Literary Cat Company and Cat Bookstore and Cat Lounge is a throwback to a time when people had a bookstore, believed in books, believed in authors, believed in readers, believed in children coming to read. And by the way, a school age kid could easily read this book or have it read to them.
Yes,
Easily.
absolutely.
This is an adult book, but completely appropriate for if you have that very bright, quick kid of
Mhm.
9 or 10 or 11, and I guess age is irrelevant, but they could read this book and they might like it even better than us. Who
I
knows?
think
Because
so. I think they would learn something. I think they would really appreciate
they
the
would.
story behind it all.
Right. And the kind of humor and the silliness and yet the seriousness of it.
Right.
So just remember that if you want to get We'll Prescribe You a Cat or any of the other very interesting cat books that Jennifer Mowdy and I will be discussing in the weeks ahead, think of getting it. Call them up or do it on their website and get a book from a bookstore. Amazing idea.
Right? A
Jennifer,
real live bookstore run by
real
real
life,
life people.
right, with real live cats in it. It's a
That's
great
right.
combination. Jennifer, thanks so much for all you're doing for books and for kitty cats and for the people in your lovely community of Pittsburg, Kansas. I look forward to more conversations about cat books soon.
Thank you, Tracie.